welcome back. You are still tuned in to Funtastic Fridays, and we're here with you every Friday and all the Friday them when a new Friday. Don't ask me no question because I don't have the answer for that. From 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. And from you hear that song, you know what time it is. It is time for Talk the Ting with Kim. And for this week's discussion, we will be discussing why dad's mental health matters. And this, as I said at the beginning of the show, is a very important conversation because men's mental health is, of course, important. But I feel like the dynamic changes when a man becomes a father. Responsibilities change, expectations change. There's like a new commitments that men have to meet, and I don't think we evaluate how that takes a toll. You know, we mainly focus on mothers, new mothers, all that. And I know that you're seeing this lovely face beside me in studio. You know, Miss PynkyBrewster, she'll be assisting also with the conversation. So yeah, she there, 4 different ways now. Hold on, she did listen on the radio, she listen online, she in studio, and all she all the versions. Listen, all the way she can tune into the show, she is tuned in.
She has activated the multiverse.
Yeah, man. All the versions are. But I guess every version of we're pink.
Yeah.
It only makes sense. Right? So, as I said, why that mental health matters. So, let's get into this conversation. Father's Day is a great reminder of the importance of a mentally healthy dad. A dad who makes his mental health a priority is more present with his children, happier at home, and a more supportive partner. Many dads can struggle with mental health issues like depression. Yes, most people don't deem depression a mental health issue, but it actually is. This mood disorder can appear with the birth of a new child or emerge later in life. Fortunately, depression is treatable. So being dad is a big deal. Being a father, guys, it's a big deal. And this whole, it's a big deal. You see this whole thing where we're bashing men and girl didn't come for the truck rate. It's like a fad. It's like a fashion. No, it's actually a big deal with a huge responsibility. Alright? So it comes with a lot of feelings, some happy, some uncertain. It's important to know that it's okay to feel a mix of emotions. Many fathers may find themselves grappling with questions about their role, identity, and relationship changes. Following the arrival of a new baby, much of the focus is on the mother and the newborn. Recovery from childbirth can be difficult both physically and mentally, and the demands of a baby, while exciting, can be challenging. During this time, dads, while not necessarily physically impacted, are affected in other ways. Many people are familiar with postpartum depression in women, but dads can struggle with their mental health too. And did you actually know that men also go through postpartum depression? Did we know that?
Wow. Well, I mean, I didn't think it was actually a thing. But it's not something that's, said frequently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I've heard, is it postpartum depression?
Yeah, well, based on my research, it was actually still called postpartum. But they're just saying it's not a high percentage, or actually it may be that because men don't voice their men don't voice their concerns or how they feel, so it seems like the percentage is not high.
Words and emotions that easily have a topic or a subject for women that men don't really use or associate with. Oh, she's moody.
Yeah, men don't classify them. I have enough man out there who moody now.
Richard, alright, don't have to moody. Hey, I've never heard that.
Them say them govern.
Yeah.
Every time. No matter what, we govern.
There's no male equivalent for moody. What do we when we're not in our feeling? What's
you're allowed to be, apparently. Apparently.
No, but yes, so stuff like that I never think, and as I said, as a man, we don't even know if there's a word for us or if we have a similar experience because I live. We just tough it out.
And Vicky, did you know that there was a postpartum depression for men?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Right.
Just like how men can have symptoms of the mother being pregnant,
Yeah.
it can actually.
That makes sense. No,
So I'm catching like a Wi-Fi. Bluetooth.
no, it's just a change in responsibilities and all that affects them.
So really and truly then, it's also like our mental things, mental, because it's based on the change of your mindset, then you probably new to you that put on by, as I said, probably could stress.
Yeah.
Okay.
But everybody focuses on mother and baby, you know. So even though, yes, as I said, the fathers aren't physically impacted, but mentally, because this is a new dynamic altogether, and now you not only have one person dependent on you, but now two, one even more than the other. That the baby really can't fend for themselves in a no way.
And you know the thing is that men are classified as the fixer,
Exactly.
right? So it's just like they're not going to think like, oh, I need to get emotional. They're going to think like, how do I need to snap out of this so to ensure that my wife and my kid or my big mother is okay.
Yeah.
So they're looking at the logics, like they're like, oh, it doesn't make sense if you get emotional right now, as well as I got to.
We're crying about
Exactly.
it right now.
Exactly. And just like the pictures that we see that showed, you know, the father
Hugging
holding the mother and then holding
Yeah.
the child. It's heavy, guys. If you try that in a real life, lift up the mother and lift up the baby. It's
Right,
heavy.
first the man have go hold a seat. You just skip everybody, arrest somebody, have a seat. We could be hold the chair.
Wait a you hold the child, you will stay over there. So,
Yeah.
and that's how our relationships are now
Yeah,
because of that.
But I get
It takes a toll, you know.
And people just expect the man to be superhero.
And we need to change that. And as Patty said, I didn't know men go through that too. So guys, as I tell you, we always aim to educate you, but I don't want you to stop here because there's always different interpretations. You can probably read something me never see. So always do your own research as well. But yes, men do go through postpartum depression. Now, according to a study published in 2015, 2 in 5 new dads reported concerns about their mental health. Lack of sleep, changes in relationships and lifestyle, and new responsibilities were most often to blame. With ample opportunities for mothers to seek help for mental health issues, men are sometimes left with little attention. Stigma can also be a factor preventing men from speaking up and seeking help. Some of the men, they might say postpartum. What you mean? I don't want nobody link me with that. A woman thing that,
That's
a whole
what I'm saying.
stigma.
Guys, we don't know.
And then even if let's say a doctor, a psychologist actually say, yes, you are experiencing this, which man I gonna go road and go say, we are deal with postpartum.
Doctor, why for that? Why?
Exactly, my body mouth and run him.
Yeah, but as I say though, it's like we have to. And Kim, these are things we don't hear nobody around and speak and
I've never heard anybody talk about male postpartum depression.
I'm saying,
Never.
This is new, and I feel that way. I don't have experience it, but I'm just saying, like, you know what? Give an experience, give our thing, give postpartum depression.
Postpartum depression.
No, guys, we want.
The name don't change much, sir. Oh, you mean it's a Turkish name, so it can be better.
Or no, that's because remember postpartum, they're saying that the fetus is no longer part of the mother's body.
Yeah.
So I kind of see a different mindset than the male feeling of it. But I get you. We understand the real, you're talking about the symptoms and the things.
And Joanna said, interesting, never heard it either. Heard about men menopause though. I never heard about that.
So what
It's called andropause.
I'm just gonna tell you. So why do you call it woman pause? We have menopause, we have woman pause.
That's what the women been asking. Why we have men in all these topics for us? And you can actually put woman or put a female name. I am andropausing, right? So why Andrea couldn't pause, right? But anyways, we won't get into that.
Wow.
So when a dad's mental illness is untreated, the whole family can suffer. I want to repeat that part there, right? Because I think mothers sometimes think we are the apple of every situation, and we are just the princess, the princess treatment. And we need to understand if a dad's mental illness is untreated, and guys, like I said even earlier, depression is counted as a mental illness. I think most of us just say, but look at depression.
Rough.
It's like, I'm just down. I don't know why. I just feel like you just blur. Or you look, it's all under the topic of depression, and it actually is a mental illness. But guys, something that can be treated, but we need to acknowledge it and identify what is probably causing it, right?
Kim, you see, you said something And I'm trying to see, because I'm saying, well, this gives an idea of what's happening in the home. You say, if the father's mental health is not up to par,
Yeah, it affects the whole family, not piece of the family.
but with the fathers, we're not looking out for their mental health. They don't know mental health. You know, area where they can go and do their checkup. The father does a live.
Yeah.
It's not a common ground. You know that the ladies have their counseling session.
Yeah.
They have their girls talk, all these things. They really have men talk so much, and if men do come together and talk, they will know 90% of the chance.
That woman
Well,
not
this
talk
sports.
about sports.
Yeah, well,
Women and sports.
we count man as a topic of discussion for me, because we're going to talk about women.
Like
But-
all the time.
Yeah, so I'll talk about sports to lead to a one. But
Yeah.
at the end, most of the general topic that we talk about is sports rather than even our health or wealth or
Yeah.
mental safety. So I don't know, like what we can
We're going to get more into it because a lot more needs to be done regarding these conversations. So as we said, if a man's mental illness is untreated, if the mental health isn't being taken care of, the whole family will suffer. And you know what I was wondering? I was wondering if this is a part of the, and this is no excuses, guys. Don't take it as an excuse. But I'm wondering if the whole, also men that leave the families, especially after the baby is born, if some of them were affected by postpartum and probably didn't know it, I just see it as, emoteless, in this, in that, but probably just didn't know how to deal with it. I don't know. That could be a part of it. What do you think?
I was actually
I agree.
I was actually gonna wait until you go into this discussion further.
Yeah.
I was gonna say for those fathers who, as we call some of them, absentees, fathers and all of these things, I'm saying, was there any mental issues behind it, or even after them so-called, probably you don't have a youth that disappear for whatever reason? What emotional effects does it have on them? Are they trying to get back into the space, or what will cause them to simply just forget or shut out their child that they have?
I think maybe because I'm not even bashing women, but I just think like because women are just so emotional, they don't sit back and like observe their partner in terms of seeing the different changes and dynamics, how this person used to operate. Something's supposed to trigger you to indicate to you that okay, something is wrong with my partner, or is he having a bad day? Sometimes we get too emotional, and then maybe because our partner knows how we are as females, it's like they're saying to themselves, it don't make any sense. I even talking to myself, but just cut. Which should not be the case in our relationship. We as women, like how men can identify, when we're having mood swings and stuff, we can be able to identify with our partner when he's going through this or when something changed with him, because we need to be there for him as well. And that's how the relationship is going to be functional,
And I love that you touch on that, because that's a dynamic I'm trying to bring attention to. The fact that as women, we're grown as, you are the real prize and you're the apple of everybody's eye, you're the princess, and make sure you find a man with less than this and And as such, women now are when we're in relationships as adults, we still treat ourselves as the center of attention. So everything is about us. So even if you're having a bad day, you see me feel some type of way, you need to get out of your mood and come fix my mood. Or, even if I did something wrong and I'm not talking to you, you need to come talk to me. I'm not gonna, that's how also women think, because you want to keep me. You want this, you want this, so you have to do whatever is needed. And we need to change that mindset, because men feel neglected. Men feel like they want to do all these things to keep the woman, and then the woman still probably not stick around, probably still gonna link somebody else, probably still not really interested, just taking the things, and she's not into it.
And I said, what time to keep? I speaking to a young lady, and she said, listen, she help her save anything and all these things. I said, well, give me an idea of the plan. Give me a plan. I said, okay, so what do you see? She said, I never did a trick about that.
Exactly.
Like, that's not really too factor in what we are going to do with ourselves, They want we help them, but they might say, let me say, if we have the space for them. I say, we're not for helping them, I'm just saying, check how we living, check how we can survive, and then see if there is any space for doing that. Woman just want to know, say, this are the plan. I mean, And they're not really too factored. The man gonna make it happen.
No, you just need to make it happen.
Where am I gonna get it from, or is it even within the budget of the relationship?
Yeah.
I don't know. But on the IG here, Intel official says, "What MV, you know? Pick up the Funtastic Team." And Joanna says she's heard of men having also morning sickness.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, man. We have, as Pinky pointed out earlier, sometimes the men do share some of the symptoms
That the mother
share
experiences.
during pregnancy. So even cramps as well. You hear the man, oh Jesus, what is this pain? Most of the time, we just do it and we just call it regular sickness because we don't know if it's an association.
Yeah.
We just live life, as we say.
Yeah, I want to big up Face Boy, QQ, Fat Boy, Shan Destin.
Cute face boy.
No, Face Boy, QQ.
I'm just joking.
Oh, Fat Boy, Shan Destin for Greatness, and Brandon Liu. Big up yourself. Alright, so if a man is concerned that he may be struggling with depression, it is important for him to talk about it with his partner and doctor. Acknowledging that there is a problem is a crucial first step. Recently, dialogue has shifted to highlight the important role of the father in a child's development. Kids embody, mimic, and react to what they see. Fathers who are physically and emotionally present predict positive outcomes for the physical, emotional, cognitive, and social health of their children. For example, when dads engage in interactive play with their children, it promotes an innate sense of curiosity, exploration, and independence. I know I sort of want to take a moment to pick up the nowadays fathers, because modern dads, they do way more today than the dads of our ancestors.
Well, Kim, as I said, different time, different
Exactly.
Back then, as I said, I mean, society is fighting with itself.
Yeah.
Back then, they're like, oh no, the man them always at work, and the woman them they won't by themselves. We need to change up the things. Now we change up the thing, I have some sort of a teamwork going on. Now the woman said, no, the man have to pay all of the bills, the man do everything, and the woman them need to not do nothing but just look good. That's going back to the same thing that we're coming from people.
Yeah.
And they said never was sufficient for the home and for the family. Half and half, probably with both of you working, that might mean that you don't have to work as hard or as much. So while each of you can probably work a little, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Back in the day when the mother already work 9 to 5, good day, do a second shift for work. You get what I'm saying? Kids only see the father probably all on weekends and them something. So you not time run up and down and play and them something, right? Only probably teach and come back to right? Cut.
Yeah.
Or football and cut. So that's
but it's not even only that, the mindset changed too, because yes, men were the breadwinners, but they also just saw the nurturing part just as the woman's role. So even if they probably had a spare time or two, that was not what they were going to spend it on. And I think that mindset has changed, has evolved. So even though the work, the expectations have changed, but also I think men are now tapping into, we can do a little more, we can wash a uniform or two. Once upon a time, man, not see washing uniform as their responsibility non-stop.
Because the role of taking the money back then was the thing. So if you're going to ask me a question, if you don't have nothing to pay this,
don't ask me.
No, because I saw the man mindset, you have to say, look, guys, listen, man, when I build time, you can't come talk about what me I watched him the dishes last week. She don't want to hear that. She go to $5 later.
Well, Joanna says in Japan, men can't get married until they can buy a house. Our culture is so different. They do first, and then they get married first, and then when kids come, they don't want the responsibility.
Jamaica is quick. We have the record for the fastest man in the world. So anything we do it quick and fast. So relationship with them today. Yeah, I that.
And then we do things the other way around. Yeah. And man, as I say, it's a lot to discuss, but we need to understand that fathers, you taking care of your mental health impacts the family. Not only you and your well-being, but a better version of you makes a better version of your family, right?
Especially the kids.
Exactly. So as I was highlighting before, is that the modern dad, they're doing way more than the dads of the past. Dads are pushing the boundaries of manly stereotypes and doing activities that our great-grandfathers would probably laugh at.
Yeah.
A few examples, they're doing laundry, vacuuming, cleaning the house, diaper changes,
cooking, the girls.
Yes, ironing the uniform and all them something there. Cooking, shopping, arranging play dates, This is an abbreviated version of a very long list because men are doing so much more than just that. And then you can add occupational responsibilities because they have them responsibilities at work and house and car maintenance. It's no surprise that dads today are struggling to keep up with life's demands because more is now expected of them. So the term daddy issues as well, this is what I thought was very important to touch on because it has become a very derogatory term describing the impact of a person's poor relationship with their father. However, underneath the minimizing and offensive statement lies the reality that there is a lingering impact from the physical or emotional absence of the father playing out in their children's ability to trust, self-regulate, and form secure attachments. So daddy issues, we use it very wisely. We mention it in almost every opportunity where a female seems to be difficult or lack trust or she choosing all the wrong men. All of a sudden, boy, daddy issues, and it goes as far as to say, boy, you're getting up in a certain career after you have daddy issues. Right? So, I mean, if you was...
Pans out.
I'm not going to go down that road.
No, but most of the time, well, as I said, it started out as, based on what is happening, and then, people just kind of throw the word around. But, yeah, it did start from, as I said, persons without, especially young ladies, without a male figure in the household. Mm-hmm. So they would have seek that attention.
They would do anything too.
From other men. Yeah, so that's where it actually started. But yeah, nowadays everything just expanded.
Exactly. But what we need to focus on the most is that it does highlight that when you don't have a father in the home, there are some adverse reactions that can affect us for life. We're into adulthood and we don't understand certain things. So we need to place more priority on that. And Joanna said, I think it's the responsibility they can't live up to while the mental situation start with some men. And the others, they want to give the kids the life they never had, and that may be hard. That's another thing. Yeah, you set this high expectation on yourself because you want to ensure that your children are doing better than you. But a lot of us really can't afford to do any better. And that's right, especially with nowadays expenses, cost of living, school fees, all of that. Guys, it's not easy. It is not easy.
That's why I kind of have as many kids as I can. So,
you mean all at zero?
Based on my budget. I don't know how people do it. Cause me, I buy the money and I try to feed myself. I want to do it and have a child. I don't know. So it's like, because we probably see our parents there work magic back then. Mm-hmm. We think so we can do the magic now. But really, actually, the even cost of living was a bit simpler then than it is now. So it's crazy now. But as I said, people, they in this situation, they have a child.
Yeah.
They're trying, and sometimes it just becomes overwhelming.
Exactly.
I always think like we need to just stop overcomplicating life. Yeah. Life is simple, and as simple as it can be. Learn to teach your child to adjust to what they have, appreciate what they have. Learn to tell your child, I don't have it.
Yeah.
Be honest with your child so that in the future they can understand the reality of how life works.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to always have it to give you, but at the end of the day, I want you to have that understanding that whatever it is that I provide is what I can provide.
Yeah.
But my question to you, Pinky, you had your child in the 80s.
Katy said, well said, Pinky.
No, but Pinky clearly had her child in the 80s. Because that's an 80s mindset. You see these mother and parents now.
That wants to be best friends.
I see children, 8-year-old, 7-year-old with the iPhone 20. I don't have an iPhone 20.
It didn't make it.
As the child breathes, the child has to get what they want.
Yeah, and that's how we put ourselves in
that's
issue.
Why most people are under pressure.
Right, because we want to, create this
facade that
my child is having anything and my child can get anything that they want. But at the end of the day, the reality is learn to let your child appreciate what they have now.
Yeah.
Because they can lose it. They can, tomorrow might come and something drastic happens.
Yeah.
Appreciate the moment now. This is what we have now, the present.
I those parents in the Kimmie. Tomorrow you see them as a child. Come to your child, she not talk to me. Why? Because me never buy her the new tablet. I never having all these other issues. And I say, I know how it comes into play with the men. Most of the times, this situation, probably the man is not at the house, right? So we have the men trying to. Most thing, once the father not at the home, you know what is the number one call?
Listen,
Send the money,
mothers have abused that,
Yeah.
and that is something
Send the
that
money, send the money.
wouldn't even mothers have made it their second income. A lot of the single,
Send the money, send
the
the money.
separate, the co-parents, they ensure that the child is with the mother, so the mother have a right to say, "Hey, gas done,
Send the
and
money, send the
the hungry."
Yeah, and then they just calling the dad like, oh, your child need this, your
Yeah,
child need
that's
that,
it,
your
that's-
child.
And the father doesn't.
Ladies,
And then he's like, okay, it's my child, so
He's
I
gonna
need
do
to go
it.
and
Yeah,
get that,
so-
or I need to go
but
and
it's
get it.
pressuring.
But no.
I know Jamaican women too, As I said, I want to focus on the pressure on the father because, as I said, some of these things probably we didn't even have, but we claim that we want to give our child better than what we have. But there's better, and there's crazy, right? But there are times when it's like, you know what? You can't even do this for your child. You
But
can't even do that
even-
for your child. And it's something that's probably not even necessary for the child.
I was about to say that because even sometimes the better that we're giving them is not
Exactly.
something the child wants, and then
Exactly.
you start these hobbies. They probably put them in gymnastics or something because they always want to try it. Then when they're older and they veer away from that, you come say, "Come with money." The child never tells them like gymnastics, but you always thought, fancy people or people in certain levels in life goes to gymnastics. I want to give my daughter gymnastics. No, it's not necessary.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with
we have
that.
all these things, and I know a situation where parents are listening. All right, when I said, just for, I don't know, I can't speak on the different experiences. I've only gone through public schooling,
Yeah,
and it has done fairly fine with me.
yeah.
But I've seen parents in a situation where, say the budget is rough already, and they're like, listen, don't send my kid to go no look
I forgot the
primary
best.
school. They want to go a prep.
And
I'm like,
AISK
what
and
they don't go
Andrews
prep, you know what I'm going about. So that you have gone, but you don't go prep. You have to carry on go prep. And when the prep come now, you can't afford all of the things that is there. And the pressure is on. So I don't know. I would need, we probably need to get somebody from those areas to talk to us about the different options of the schooling.
And then
But
now,
it's pressure.
I think parents have this concept in their head, like when they provide all the necessary things for their child, when the child gets older, they're supposed to come back and help them.
I mentioned
That's not
that.
their responsibility.
That was a toxic parenting that
Your
I said.
child is not responsible for you
Yeah.
when they get old.
When they don't get it, all of a sudden you're ungrateful and look how investment life, you just gone. So, you turn around and say,
That's all like
a lot of mothers,
that's all like a man that's been on a woman in a relationship and then because I want to take back the things. Get married for anyway, people, we're gonna go take a break. Getting heated in the studio here. Kimmie telling us about, why that's mental health
matters.
We're gonna be right back after the break. We have our guests in studio, PynkyBrewster and the team. Pink team. Yeah.
Think you drop some gems.